Let's shift gears a little. I know that
Yeah.
you've been very interested in the power of story to help build community and to share connection and understanding. Tell us a little bit about that new work and what you're thinking about it and where you're going with it.
Yeah. So last year we hosted our first, we're championing this movement we call the conspiracy of goodness, which conspiracy, I know, very scary word, but it's this idea that there are people working around the world in an unorganized way, just doing good for others that helps our future moving forward, right? They are doing good in obscurity. There's this movement of goodness and progress happening that almost no one is talking about or celebrating. And so we had our first Conspiracy of Goodness Summit, highlighting some of these leaders in the Conspiracy of Goodness, bringing together community members in the Conspiracy of Goodness. And we realized that in all of this, just like with any summit or event, at the end, we were like, yay, we all have so much energy, but where's it gone? Like, how do we get together, especially in this virtual world? And so we committed to creating a space. We decided we wanted to build our own social media platform for people who were in the Conspiracy of Goodness, because we realized that community is so key for all of these people that are working in the Conspiracy of Goodness. Very often they're not the type of people that are going to stand on a pitch stage and be the loudest one and get all of the VC money, or they're not the type of people that know how to even look into that funding, or they didn't come from those kind of backgrounds. They just knew they had a passion, they want to do good in the world, but they didn't have a place to go, to put that passion except for in the work they wanted to do. And so we built the Conspiracy of Goodness Network, which is this wonderful community of individuals who are a part of the ecosystem of goodness, right? They're the people who are doers. They're the ones that are on the front lines, starting the businesses, climbing the trees in the rainforest, being the leaders of all these great organizations. The helpers, who are the people who are volunteering for March of Dimes and volunteering for their local cancer research foundations, and these helper people in your community. I'm sure you've met them before. And then the learners, so the people that are either heading into a second climb, or young people who we've told their whole lives, go do something meaningful in your life, and then we've not told them how to live a meaningful or a good life. And so this ecosystem is so important to goodness that we wanted to give it a space, wanted to give it a community, because very often when you are doing good in the world, and we know this from personal experience, you go to somebody and you say, hey, I'm running a positive media company that is creating content that matters. And they go, well, that's nice, or good job, what a cool project. And then they dismiss you and think you're looking at the world through rose-colored glasses. And I've talked to so many people who have created businesses that are incredibly successful that had that same kind of patronizing thing happening to them at the beginning. They didn't get the funding that they needed. They didn't get the support or resources that they needed. They got, for lack of a better term, kind of screwed over by companies that were taking advantage of their goodwill. And so what we are doing is creating this community where people can tell their stories. They can share the problems that they're having as well as the successes that they're having. They can turn to each other and say, hey, I need a collaborator who understands accounting. Is anybody here, a former accountant that could help me with this? I'm trying to get this business started over here. Or, hey, I am a business that is an organization that really needs young people who understand social media. I don't. Any of you young people out there, would you like to come join us and be on our social media team? Really creating a space where the learners, the helpers, and the doers in this beautiful ecosystem of goodness can finally have a place to come together, where everybody is taken seriously, where no one is like, great idea, to what people are doing in goodness, and be able to share their stories, share their experiences, so that we can start to build on each other's shoulders. I think we have a lot of narratives of how to build big business. I have bookshelves of people that have done big business things, but I have maybe 3 books of people who have been wildly successful doing good in the world. And I think we need to start to, again, flip that narrative from 50-50, you got to smash everybody in business, to, hey, there's ways to do business that does good in the world too.
Yeah, I think that we have a deeply embedded assumption that comes from our history, at least in this country, around capitalism and running a business, and that it's about competition, and there's a limited pie, and we have to fight for our piece of the pie. And if someone else succeeds, that means that we're failing. And
Yeah.
and those deep assumptions, I don't think serve us very well. That if we knew that the pie is continually growing, and that the pie has, and that actually cooperating and collaborating is actually a better strategy than competing and fighting. Um, I think opportunities open up. What's the name of? Do you have a name for the site yet, or are you still working?
Yeah. It's called the Conspiracy of Goodness Network. We're still in our first launch phase. We have our second Conspiracy of Goodness summit coming out, which is our big launch for the network. And we're hoping to bring in 200, 300 more people onto the site there, so we can really start to develop
Oh,
those conversations and bring people in.
well, as it develops, you need to send me information and
I
details.
will. I will. I
Fair enough.
will.
So.